Now, in a recent interview on Arise News, Abia State Governor Otti strongly criticized the previous PDP-led administration, accusing it of launching deceptive projects while neglecting initiatives that could have significantly improved the lives of Ndi Abia. Now, one of the key issues stirring controversy is the Port Harcourt Road project in Abia, a 6.7-kilometer road awarded at a cost of over 30 billion naira to construction giant Julius Berger. Governor Otti has faced scrutiny over the cost and transparency of the contract, with allegations of a possible conflict of interest emerging. But also drawing attention is the abandoned Owerenta rice mill project, another symbol, according to critics, of stalled development and misaligned priorities. Well, joining us for a right of reply to these allegations is the Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Abia State, Eric Ikwuagwu. Thank you very much for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you for having me.
You do seem to have a bone or two to pick with Governor Otti when he says he actually inherited a fraudulent government. I mean, why? What aspect of what Governor Otti has said so far prevarications?
Well, it's unfortunate that 2 years, 24 months, almost 24 months into the administration of the Governor Otti, he's still talking about PDP as if we have election with him tomorrow. Now, there's big issues when it comes to the government, elevating propaganda and lies into state policy. That is where I have issues with. Like we're talking about Port Harcourt Road project, which they have christened the best achievement the governor has done within 24 months. And I'm looking at the figures. Now, every figure I'm going to tell you today is derived from the Abia State quarterly report. There's this SAFTAS, there's State Fiscal Transparency, Accountability and Sustainability, SAFTAS, by World Bank, that demands that states quarterly publish their income and expenditure. Right. So it is based on that, and I'm going to derive figures I'm going to put out this night. Now, a road that is about 5.7 kilometers, not 6.7, because this government has the tendency of extending and adding figures to road projects. Okay,
so the Port Harcourt
is about 5.7 kilometers.
Is not
yes,
6.7.
Yes, because the former administration of Dr. Kezi Bazu did the design work, did the earth work to the binding stage with 2-line drainages end to end. Before this administration came in. So even before the administration was sworn in on May 27 or on May 29, they've already handed over the contract to Julius Berger. And we're asking why. At that point, he was not a governor yet. He was just a governor-elect. And then he handed the contract to Julius Berger. And
how could he have done that when he wasn't governor yet?
That is still what I'm asking. I say this with every sense of responsibility, that he moved before May 29, 2023 to that spot and said he was going to hand over this contract to Julius Berger. And
so
he
what
did.
You're saying is there were two governors.
There were two governors at that point. Because
both
of
Alex Otti, incoming governor, and
Dr. Kezi Bazu, who was still a governor. Okay,
that's quite interesting.
At that point, he took the management of Julius Berger to that site to give that contract. And at that point, the chairman of board of Julius Berger is still the chairman of board of his Signature Bank. And at that point, Signature Bank had only 2 branches. Today, we're talking about 14 branches of Signature Bank. Why the state is shrinking, Signature Bank is growing. And so we're asking, what is happening? It is the job of EFCC to do that for us. I'm just laying the foundation here.
Right.
So we expect FCPC and EFCC to tell us what happened. That a bank that had only 2 branches before the governor was sworn in on May 29, 2033 grew exponentially from 2 to 14 branches now. So this is what we're expecting the EFCC to tell us.
Are you not distracting or detracting
from
the issues at hand?
No, it is. I'm not distracting. It's still part of what we're talking about.
Right.
It's still part of what governance template we're talking about, because the governor campaigned on the strength that he was coming to change.
Is governance going on in Abia State?
Governance
Are roads being constructed? Are hospitals being constructed?
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. Now, I'm talking about the cost attached to these things.
Okay. What figures do you have that contradict
now, at 36 billion for 5.7 kilometers. It gives us an estimate about 6-point-something billion per kilometer. For Christ's sake. Now, let me draw analysis with what is happening in Rivers State, Ikwuagwu Road, that was awarded by Fubara, Governor Fubara. It was about 17.9, no, Calabari Road, sorry, 17.9 kilometers. And the cost of that road is 30.4 billion, done by Julius Berger too. And it's a more unforgiving terrain, a more difficult terrain to walk, a swampy terrain with 2 bridges. At 30.4, when you do the math, it's about 2.6 billion per kilometer. So it then means that Abia State has the most expensive road in the whole of South Africa, if not the whole of Africa.
What was the level of infrastructure development, especially road infrastructure, under Ikwuagwu? What did he hand over to Alex Otti?
Now let me tell you that there is no road that leads to Abia. All the connecting roads to Abia, as we speak today, was done by Governor Okezie Ikpeazu. Even when he drives from his private home, there's a makeshift government house, to Umuahia, the road he will apply to Umuahia is done by Governor Okezie Ikpeazu. So there is no how you can talk about Governor Okezie Ikpeazu's infrastructural stock. You wouldn't talk about what he called the philosophy behind his road, which is attacking the economic roads. There was a question the former commissioner was
including the area road.
Yes, every road that leads to the major market. That was what he called the economic roads first. He was able to work on the economic roads because the philosophy behind it is if Abia is known for trade and commerce. So the markets are the hub where you get these traders to improve their patronage and be able to pay their own fair share of taxes. So what the governor did was to do the economic roads first. So that is why the present governor can have time now.
Was it 100% completed?
Yes, every road surrounding all the markets, new market area,
took over.
New market area, every road that is connected to the market, the entrance, all the entrances to Abia and to the market were done by Governor Okezie Ikpeazu. I say this with every sense of responsibility because those important roads.
Figures very quickly. You said
because those important roads were done by Ikpeazu. That is why the governor can now look at growth in Afikpo. Because if the economic roads were not done by the government of Dr. Okezie Ikpeazu, he wouldn't have time going to Afikpo to do some local roads there. They are important roads.
Okay, so very quickly, you've questioned the 30 billion price.
Yes, that makes that road the most expensive road in Africa.
What figure did you come up with in your? I mean, you said you've done.
No, I'm looking at the coastal road that is being done by the federal government.
Comparing with, okay.
No, I'm comparing Julius Berger's.
But you have not independently, come up.
I have. If
that's what I'm asking you. What figures did you come up with?
It shouldn't be more than 2.5 billion a kilometer, but we're having about 6.5 billion per kilometer.
Totaling how much now? How much?
Well, he's paying 36 billion for that road.
36 billion
for that road.
But the Abia State government says they actually paid, 30 billion. Well,
36 billion. The governor just said in the last interview with Rufai that it's 30 billion. So we are talking about some strange figures that have been churning out through these safeties. Quarterly looked at it, and the governor said that he was unable to pack into the government house because the last floor was unplastered. But I'm telling you, by Q3 report that came in 2023, the governor spent 5 billion servicing his residents. And I asked that question. So if you are servicing the resident with 5 billion, when you leave office, do we go back there to take all those installation equipment that has been used Abia money to do in your private residence? That has been a question. Then there are very serious expenses like the 6.5 billion recreational facility, 10 billion in capacity building, 4 billion in improvement of agricultural seedling. There are nowhere to be found. 5 billion in servicing his office, like I said, 7 billion in research and development, 2.4 billion in ICT infrastructure, 14 billion under 9 months in security votes. What
you're saying is that all of this, what Nigerians call voicemail, I mean that totally non-existent.
They are audio. They are nowhere. If you go to the Abia State website, please go to the quarterly report. You will see these figures contained there. There are no physical infrastructure.
What did Ikpeazu leave behind us at May 29 when he handed over.
Ikwuagwu left a lot. We were talking about the specialist.
In terms of figures,
we are talking about the specialist
in terms of Naira
hospital.
How much? Because
we are talking about 24
governor
billion.
Says Alex Otti claimed that 50 billion unpaid salaries, gratuities, and pensions, 200 billion naira local and foreign debt, and all of that. Now,
the debt he was talking about was debt that was incurred from the creation of the state till date.
From the creation of Abia State.
Till date, that is the total debt he was talking about, not incurred only by Dr. Ikwuagwu. And we are saying that if you said you have cleared the debt, how has it reflected on the pensioners that you're still owing? How has it reflected on the contractors that you're still owing? So, in a nutshell, this government has been about lies and lies and lies. There's no truth in what they say. Remember, the governor said he has not paid the kobo.
Did the Ikwuagwu administration address this unpaid salaries and gratuities in all 8 years in the
Yes, there were issues with pension. But what the governor did was to owe these people for 10 months, pay off the 10 months he was owing them, and claim that he has paid 9 years, and clear off 19 billion.
Which governor are you talking about?
Dr. Alex Otti, the present governor.
10 months.
10 months when he came in.
The question I asked you was, did Ikwuagwu address this debt that you say has been incurred from the beginning, from the birth of Abia State? 50 billion in unpaid salaries, gratuities, pensions, 200 billion local and foreign debt. Are you saying that the Ikwuagwu administration did not, make any dent in this debt in a way as to reduce?
There were debts. You understand what is happening with the economic situation. Mm-hmm. The kind of resources that is freed up for governors of today is not what they had in their time. There were times the governor was receiving about 3 billion, 4 billion. But today, the governors play with around 21 billion, 18 billion. The governor of Imo State said it, that because of the amount of money that is freed up for them, they're going to do.
But the 3 billion at the time had more value than today.
No, there's no how you can say that 3 billion of yesterday is of more quality than 21 billion.
We'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much. A right of reply by Eric Ikwuagwu, Publicity Secretary of the People's Democratic Party in Abia State. Thank you for joining us on Music.